0-0 Nagaran Arena Gates about to open.
Interesting plot twist, running the same composition that Method Black tried to counter out Rogue Mage. On the opposite side, Neat running Rogue Mage, but a bit of a twist on their side actually with the Restoration Shaman Healer. I'm curious to see how this matchup plays out. This is one that we've never seen in a tournament setting.
Yeah, we'll be curious. Assassination Rogue, Arcane Mage, normally really good against the Resto Shaman. They can have a lot of pressure on Lays in this matchup. Looks like Nick's going to be opening up early on, getting the Garrote over onto Aqua, and Cheerios really spreading out that bleed damage.
All right, Aqua actually playing Destruction, not Affliction. We see a full polymorph, though, secured onto Clay, the Restoration Shaman. Aqua trinketing out of the kidney shot very early on. That was not the Vendetta committed during this. Nice double stun from Cheerios, dropping that Fury of Illidari, Fell Barrage combo, cleaving down both members to about 50%. A lot of damage to follow up the back of that, barely surviving, but the Temporal Shield should almost immediately bring the Mage back to full HP. A swap now over to Nick the Rogue, and it looks like he's going to be fine as he's moving over. No, Chaos Bolts, Cheerios pulls back, but now he's caught into a cheap shot. Looks like Clay's in a position to save him, having used his trinket to get out of crowd control. As both teams begin to stabilize, Cheerios is trying to mount an assault at the enemy healer. Yeah, and one of the reasons Plot Twist has picked this composition, especially Cheerios on the Demon Hunters, he has that reverse magic, which is going to be super effective. But a big swap over on the Lays right now with the kidney shot. Darkness gets dropped out as well. Cheerios trying to deflect that kill, but that was an overlap with the Astral Shift. This is a moment where Neat can really capitalize on the situation. That was a Vendetta, so Lays is going to be safe for a little while longer. Meanwhile, Jealous taking a little bit of damage. Chaos Bolt is ultimately going to get blocked there before he goes down. Yeah, I mean, Plot Twist are in a dominating position at this point in time with the Restoration Shaman playing Relentless. It means he cannot trinket Spirit Link, which is basically the only thing to guarantee that his Mage will survive through the next burst window. I'm curious to see how they break up the crowd control. In the meantime, they are making a healer swap of their own, going after Clay in the kidney shot, getting him down to about half HP. He's going to trade out Earthen Shield. Cheerios moving over for the double Chaos Nova, Fury of Illidari combo, Cap Totem out of the stun. Good teamwork between Clay and Cheerios. Corlick, though, in the meantime, is doing a great job to just recover through the pressure. I'm still waiting for that crowd control, potentially an Imprison or into a Fear, something of the like, and then a lot of damage to follow up onto the Arcane Mage. Good position from the Mage, far away. Cheerios getting kidney shot on his assault. Chaos Bolt's flying, but Jealous jumping behind the pillar to avoid the follow-up damage. Cheerios going for a Fell Barrage onto the Rogue. Not going to be doing too much damage. Feint is very effective against area of effect damage. Yeah, Corlick in a nice position right now. Finally, Cheerios going to make a little bit of a swap over onto him, but Jealous there to protect with the polymorph, so Cheerios going to get crowd controlled here and Nick down to around 50% HP as he pushes into the middle of the map. Aqua with the Fear Spam, looking for another Chaos Bolt on Corlick. Takes a huge one, 50% HP. Now kidney shot committed on Aqua, and what's really difficult for Neat in this situation is there's really no good kill target. The Destruction Warlock's going to be really tanky, Cheerios going to be really tanky. The only thing they can really do is make a push onto Lays, but unfortunately they have the Trinket and the Astral Shift. The double stun into the Blood Elf Silence, Cheerios mounting for a solo kill. It looks like Corlick needs to deal with the interrupt now as well. He was managed to fake cast it. He's going to re-stabilize. Good defensive play there from Corlick. Mana tied at this point, but still behind on defensive cooldowns without an ice block for 3 more minutes. Nick trading out his Cloak of Shadow, so now he's an exposed target as well. He's going for a blind play, maybe trying to bait the Trinket on this and then swap to the Shaman, and Clay's really not falling for the bait. There's no Vanish to sap out. The blind goes basically unused, and now Clay can easily deal with the Vendetta should he need to. Defensive Fears, Chaos Bolt being casted towards the Mage. No blink for that. It's going to be doing maximum damage. Clay moving forward as well. Looks like they want to try and maybe get some crowd control on Corlick. I'm curious if they got the double stun. Cheerios looking for a Chaos Nova opportunity if they stack up. Now swapping back to Nick. Chaos Bolt's flying. There's no Cloak of Shadows. One gets grounded. Good grounding totem by Corlick. They recover. Now they swap to Clay as he was trying to make an aggressive push. Cheerios looking to reverse with a triple stun of his own. Corlick, though, doing a good job ducking behind the pillar, avoiding the Chaos Bolts. Now they swap to the Arcane Mage. Needs to be careful. A Chaos Bolt could easily take his life. Is he going to have to blink back? He blinks back to the pillar. Cheerios chasing after him. Aqua's going to switch targets, though, instead. Yeah, Jealous playing very careful until that ice block comes back up, but he's taking a large amount of damage. Interrupt over onto Corlick. Jealous trying to do everything he can, spamming out the polymorphs. Spirit Link Totem ultimately gets dropped before the Hex coming in from Corlick, but man, you can see Neat really running out of offensives. Nick's getting low as well. Does have that Vendetta available. They have one last offensive push, but I don't know who they're going to be able to take down. I mean, at this point, everyone is dead. Triple Cap Totem by Clay. The Metamorphosis gets popped. Cheerios is looking for a kill. Tons of damage. Mortal Coil to follow it up. Corlick doing a good job to survive, but ultimately getting wind sheared. He's trying to sneak behind the corner, catches a healing wave. Corlick manages to maybe make it out alive. Spell lock now on the following heal. His Ascendance has faded. He's going to lose that area of effect healing. Shadow Step defensively by Nick. Cheerios triple Fell Barrage. The entire team. Corlick could easily fall, and he does. Plot Twist with a ton of damage and great defense. Is going to have none of that. They just pushed in aggressively and were able to basically kill the entire team, triple kill them with just raw pressure. So the counter pressure from Neat was way too low. They need to be doing a lot more damage and be more of a threat to prevent the team of Plot Twist from doing what they're doing here, where Cheerios is just, hey guys, I'm on your entire team right now and I do not care. There's no counter.
Results are in, and it looks like most of you are on the side of Plot Twist. Obviously, you guys guessed right in game number 1. We'll have to see if Neat can switch it up and tie this series up.
I'm curious to see. I want to see Neat play really aggressive and get in the face. They're going to have to deal with Cheerios' Demon Sight, so Demon Hunters can see stealth targets. I'm curious if that means Tiber is just going to run and Moonfire him to stop that so his Rogue can get in. It's very much more important for the Rogue to not get pulled out of stealth. It does seem to be the case. They want to make sure that Nick can safely cross the map without getting pulled out of stealth. He's making his way now. Cheerios hasn't used his Demon Sight just yet. Tiber looking for some cheeky Cyclones, maybe trying to bait some interrupts with this early on. Cyclone and the Demon Hunter, they're going to look to start maybe a blind kidney shot. They're going to open on the healer with no Earth Shield. Incarnation popped immediately. Star Surges are flying towards Clay. Double Mortal Coil, only single Mortal Coil actually. It's going to allow Clay to gate away to safety, and now they just need to line of sight the rest of this duration of Incarn.
Yeah, there's a full blind now into Clay. He trinkets out immediately. Good pressure coming in from Cheerios onto Tiber as well as Warlock as they manage to force out the Astral Shift. 2 Chaos Bolts connecting from Aqua. Warlock ultimately going to deflect with that Astral Shift like I was saying, but that's a big victory for Plot Twist. And in that opener, they really didn't get too much. They got the trinket for the blind on Lays, which is very standard. Now we have a Root Beam onto Clay as Cheerios gets swapped to. He metamorphoses back over onto Clay. Uses his reverse magic to get him out of that Root Beam.
Yeah, I mean, he used his damage cooldown defensively to break crowd control, which means he's ultimately going to lose damage. And now that that threat isn't there, that's lasting for a couple of seconds. The remainder of this metamorphosis really paying off. Tons of damage. A full fear onto the enemy healer, Korlik. Tiber is forced to use his renewal. A quick pick-me-up, but a Chaos Bolt immediately takes that health back. Korlik trying to get some healing waves in the line of sight. The interrupts. Cheerios moves over, though, and lands it. Doesn't seem like there's any more follow-up. Cyclones defensively. A swap to the healer. Ooh. A full moon gets spell locked. Good spell lock there by Aqua. The entire team in crowd control. Cheerios opts to trade out Darkness to allow Clay to survive. Tiber punishes with a Cyclone at low health. Trying to switch targets now to Aqua and make things more awkward for Clay.
Yeah, that was a bit of a miscommunication there between Aqua and Cheerios. Aqua interrupting that full moon. Cheerios got scared of the full moon, dropped the Darkness anyway, so not going to have that 3-minute timer now. Small victory there for Neat with that swap over on the Clay. And now they don't have the Darkness. Clay does not have the trinket, and this is an opportunity for Neat to really find some pressure with that Incarnation coming up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Cheerios pulling back, trying to attack Tiber and force him into bear form. There's a Root Solar Beam set up. Kidney shot to deny Blur and the reverse magic. Good cross crowd control between Nick and Tiber, but not enough damage to really find a kill. They do ultimately, I believe, pull Blur out of the back pocket of Cheerios. The next setup could be dangerous. Clay has his trinket rotating up. He can use Trinket Spirit Link if he absolutely needs to. In the meantime, Tiber looking for full moon, building up astral power. Cheerios going on a bit of a solo mission to try and go after Korlik, but he's getting rooted behind the pillar. It was a bit of an overextension from Cheerios. Now he's caught behind the pillar. Incarnation punish, but a cap totem onto both members denies the kill potentially. Whoa. Cheerios hangs on by a thread. That double cap totem was the only thing that allowed Cheerios to survive. Now he's going for an offensive play. Triple Fell Barrage, tons of damage. Korlik trying to recover. He negates the pressure with Ascendance, healing his team back to full as both teams are not holding any punches.
Yeah, Cheerios, I cannot believe he didn't trinket in that situation, getting stun locked behind the pillar, but ultimately holds onto it now full blind onto Clay. He trinkets out. Aqua also using his Unending Resolve there. It's only a minute-long cooldown for the Destruction Warlock, but still, that's an opportunity with the Root Beam onto Clay that they could potentially take down Aqua. They're just going to pull the trigger with the Root Beam, making a swap onto Cheerios. He trinkets out, looking to get aggressive, actually uses the reverse magic onto Clay to get him out of that Root Beam, ultimately saving his life. Now Cheerios looking to get a little bit aggressive with that Demon form. Full Moon going to connect, but doing nothing to Cheerios.
All right, no trinkets onto Clay and no trinket onto Cheerios. No Unending Resolve. This is a very difficult situation to be in as a healer. How is Clay going to deal with this? Everyone on his team is an exposed target. Moonkin Subtlety Rogue, probably the highest burst specs, at least some of them in the game. So Clay needs to keep his eyes open and get ready for that. He's in the middle of the map. They could even swap to him. The stress is starting to mount. He's trying to keep his team as healthy as possible before those crowd control chains start to move in. Tiber's waiting for that Solar Beam. They need to stun Cheerios at the same time as Solar Beam. Clay looking for a drink in the meantime, expecting this game maybe to go on for a little bit longer. Defensive fears being spammed out. Aqua looking for Chaos once they swap over to Nick. He's going to Cloak of Shadows, immune the pressure. Potential Root Solar Beam here from Tiber. Who are they going to go after? Kidney shot onto Clay. Full Moon potential swap gets spell locked. This attempted kill on Cheerios gets completely shut down. Oh, they land a Hex. Maybe they can keep the crowd control chain going. Nice blade dance. Cheerios trying to immune the incoming cheap shot. A sap out of the Hex. Great play from Nick there. Now into the root solar beam. Great setup, 10 seconds away, but reverse magic does allow the Shaman to escape. Great positioning from Cheerios to negate that assault.
Yeah, Cheerios getting aggressive now with Fell Barrage onto Tybers. He's behind the pillar. Needs to get back in line of sight of Warlock at this moment. If you look at mana, Warlock is way ahead. Somehow healing through the spread pressure coming in from Plot Twist. Oh! Somebody ahead, but a huge swap with the Chaos Nova. Astral Shift's going to be forced out. Warlock trying to get some heals on himself now. Nice defensive Cyclone coming in from Tiber, keeping Warlock alive, but still a lot of pressure coming in from Cheerios as he relentlessly trains him down.
He might be able to get a solo kill on Warlock. They managed to get through the interrupt. Now he needs to be careful. He overextended before and almost died, so he's not going to make the same mistake. Cheerios opting to pull back, switch targets, going after Tiber, bursting him down to below half HP. Recovering though. We see a blind on Clay. They are trying to bait the trinket, I believe, on this blind, but it's ultimately maybe even greedy at the same time. Incarn has already been committed. I would really like to see a trinket at some point here. I'm not sure if Aqua will be able to survive the rest of this. He's trying to go for the double Mortal Coil. Another sap out of the sap. Full moon, lots of Star Surges. The greedy play from Clay could cost the game. Ultimately, though, they used the Solar Beam onto the Warlock. Would have liked to see the Solar Beam onto the Restoration Shaman. It definitely would have got a trinket there. Now they don't get the trinket. Spirit Link is going to save the team and potentially put them very far behind on cooldowns. Cheerios got trinket for the next setup. Clay now still has his trinket. It's not looking too good for Neat.
Yeah, Aqua getting cheap shot. Big swap coming in from Neat onto him. Smoke bomb gets dropped. Can Aqua survive? Darkness comes in at the last second from Cheerios to save his life. Now Aqua looking to get aggressive with a Chaos Bolt. Nice interrupt coming in from Nick, shutting that down, dampening it around 5%. As it looks like Nick is just trying to create a little pressure on Lays, maybe force out the Earth Shield. He actually gets the Earthen Shield Totem onto Clay in that situation, so that was nicely done by him. Now can make a nice swap over onto Cheerios with the full moon being cast out by Tarver. Are they going to find the damage? Demon Hunter once again just shrugging off that magic damage.
All right, Cyclone on Cheerios as they make a swap to Lays, catching him into that kidney shot. Tiber gets imprisoned, though. Cheerios has got great defensive play on Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter is normally known for just running at healers, doing a bunch of damage, but Cheerios is really showcasing the defensive play quite effectively, supporting his team, getting Lays out of crowd control, imprisoning during burst moments, and these defensive plays are really the only thing that allow his team to continue the match long enough for Aqua to generate pressure, as we can see on our screen right now with both Tiber and Nick down below half. Cheerios makes a swap, stunning up Warlock, then switching targets again, trying to be as disruptive as possible.
Yep, Warlock in a good position right now. There's a root beam over onto Lays. He's going to be sitting there. He actually jumped the root beam, so unfortunately for Tiber, that crowd control is not going to land. He manages to land the follow-up Cyclone, but really no damage to be found. Aqua's just going to be trinketing out of that cheap shot. He gates away. Now Nick really struggling to find his target. In the meantime, Cheerios putting huge pressure out onto Tiber. Imprisonment onto Warlock. Can they take him down? Capstun comes in. Warlock ultimately going to be getting out of that Capstun. Fell Barrage now onto Tiber as the pressure continues. Cheerios forced defensive now a little bit. Going to be coming back to peel up Nick and make a swap over onto him.
Ooh, a Chaos Bolt onto Nick in the center of the map. Oh! Take the kill with a spell lock onto Warlock, denying the Spirit Link totem from saving his team, and Plot Twist move up 2-0 in the series. This composition, however, I think played a lot better for them with the Moonkin Rogue than we saw with the Assassination Arcane, and I think they could pull this off still. It's going to be a bit of a trek, but they definitely have a lot better strengths, I think, in that composition.
Well, it just seemed like they had the crowd control as well as the damage to actually make something happen in that match.
Yeah, it looks like if they can land the root beam at the same time as they kidney Cheerios, then they can win the game, but it's so hard for them to do. There's so many things that can go wrong, and I mean, we saw Plot Twist play very well defensively. They didn't overlap any of their cooldowns. They had good decision making, and they've managed to stall out the game for as long as they needed to, and then they found the kill onto Nick eventually. And Nick, I mean, he's playing the sub rogue. He has to be close to Lays. He has to try to find these opportunities.
Potential match point for Neat in this tournament. Their lives are on the line. Plot Twist doing an excellent job with this composition so far. We'll have to see if they can walk away with a clean sweep.
And I'm going to do it. It's Ruins of Lordaeron, and because Ruins of Lordaeron is a cemetery, it would be a fitting final resting place for Neat. Tiber again early on trying to bait interrupts while Nick crosses the map in stealth. He's managed to bait Cheerios interrupt with this Cyclone, looking to bait potentially a spell lock as well. They could overextend Cheerios behind the tombstone. No, they're just going to go for a Cyclone. Half moon. Tiber building up for a full moon incarnation. Potentially huge burst damage towards Aqua. He pops the unending resolve. Will that be enough to sustain through the pressure? Triple stun from Cheerios. Great defense once again, deflecting the initial assault.
Yeah, this Demon Hunter has proved very useful for the team of Plot Twist. Nick taking a little bit of damage right now. Once once again. The Fell Barrage comes in. Might have to trade off that Cloak of Shadows. He's just going to be spamming out the Feint. Uses the Vanish as well. Nick's still low, though, making a swap onto Cheerios. Tiber taking a little bit of damage. Aqua, you can see, look at his position, just in the middle of the map, spamming out the Chaos Bolts, putting out big pressure. You have Cheerios basically charging in, absorbing most of this damage. You can see Lays as well. He's in a very defensive position. It's going to be difficult for Nick and Tiber to make a swap onto him.
Yep, we're waiting for that root solar beam, the deadly combo, a Cyclone casted onto Aqua. Tiber feeling a bit of pain here from Cheerios, trying to force him back. Nick, though, shadow stepping over for a cheap shot. This could be a potential trinket. They need to get a trinket. Maybe they can get a kill if Cheerios is too greedy. He's down on 10%. He's trying to be greedy. He jumps over with the Metamorphosis to avoid death. Manages to stay alive. Cyclone now at low HP. Let's see if they can crowd control chain further through this. Tiber looking for another Cyclone at low health, trying to make this very difficult for Lays to time healing. Looks like Lays ultimately does connect a healing wave. Blind committed. Lays trinkets out. Would almost like to maybe see a swap to Lays later on. We see the root solar beam. Cheap shot onto Cheerios. Good crowd control, but defensive play from Aqua breaks it up.
Yeah, Cheerios going to be actually trinketing out of that and using that reverse magic as well. Now Nick, once again, taking quite a bit of burst damage coming in from Cheerios as well as Aqua. Nice kick, though, coming in from Nick will keep him alive. Big heals as well coming in from Warlock. Now Cyclone's coming in from Tiber, trying to break up some of this offense coming in from Plot Twist as they look to make their next setup. Lays, no available. There's the kidney shot. Tiber taking a Chaos Bolt. In the meantime, though, Aqua gets swapped to. He has to trinket out. Not using the unending resolve. Way too late. Now it's overlap with the darkness. This is a big victory here for Neat.
Look at this Cyclone at low HP on the darkness. Beautiful Cyclones from Tiber this game. Everybody's still in crowd control. Another Cyclone at low HP. If they've got any crowd control for Lays, Cheerios is trying to deny it with a triple stun. Cheerios with the reversal. A fear to follow out of the stun. Nick in trouble. Cloak of Shadows gets traded out. Do they have anything to interrupt the heals of Lays? It doesn't seem like he's looking for a cheeky Hex. Manages to get that. Tiber can dispel. Surprisingly not going for the dispel. This non-dispel could maybe throw the game. A fear. Nick still at half HP. Double Mortal Coil. Chaos Bolt gets wind sheared. There's the solar beam. They could find a kill. Incarnation has been popped. No trinket for Cheerios. Taking immense pressure. Hex on Aqua. Triple crowd control. Neat are looking to strike back, and Lays keep up the heals. If potential Spearling Totem, he's being greedy. Plot Twist are being so greedy. They're going to get away with it this time, but greed might not always be good.
Yeah, Tiber once again looking for the full moon, making a big swap over on the Lays. He goes down to 50% HP. Tiber in the meantime, though, taking a Chaos Bolt to the face. You see Aqua putting out that pressure. Nick doing everything he can to keep him alive. Cheap shot on Aqua, cheap shot on Cheerios. That is the only reason Tiber is alive in this situation, but still good pressure here for Plot Twist. Double Chaos Nova coming in onto Warlock as well as Tiber. Nick still looking to get away, flailing for his life at this moment. Chaos Bolt connects once again, and now finally Neat is forced full defense in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Cheerios is just making Demon Hunter look like the most fun thing in the game right now. He's just defensively saving his team, setting up for these huge burst moments off the back of Aqua. Plot Twist could be a really threatening team for the rest of this tournament if Neat can't swing this back. Defensive Cyclones, blind play. Will Lays trinket? Yes, trinket for blind, fair trade. Unfortunately, now it could open a potential swap later on, or even just solar beam crowd control chain, as it seems like Cheerios and Lays are basically hugging each other. They're waiting for the solar beam to reverse it, but the cheap shot denies the reverse. Cheerios isn't trinketing. They're being greedy again in this position. Defensive fears, but a full Hex now secured with no trinket. Cheerios gates away, but he's so far away from his healer as well. Any damage connecting here could end this. A kidney shot to follow it up, and Cheerios will fall. And the greedy decision-making from Plot Twist gets punished.
Matchup. Plot Twist, they had good pressure. Like you said, Cheerios in this matchup did an excellent job defensively with his trinket, with the reverse magic. Do you think there's anything Plot Twist could have done a little bit better to close out this game?
I mean, I think at this point in time, maybe Cheerios was just afraid of getting stunned on his trinket, but he could have potentially got a trinket, reverse magic, then Lays could have interrupted the Hex. I mean, ultimately, the Hex needed to be stopped, because the Sub-Row can easily swap to the Restoration Druid, and that's going to be a point of weakness. I like the composition, but at the same time, I don't think it's guaranteed for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's a guarantee at all. Lays is going to be a little bit susceptible, but you have the defense coming in from Cheerios on the Demon Hunter as well as Piff. I think if they do a smart job with their imprisonment, as well as the intimidating shout and stuns, it can be difficult for Nick to really stop Lays from getting into that eventual bear form, but we'll have to see. Plot Twist up 2-1 in the series. Neat still just hanging on as long as they can.
Yeah, I mean, this Moonkin row composition, they look a lot better on it. Root Solar Beam is also not whatsoever useful against Restoration Druid. Restoration Druid can just shapeshift out of the roots, so it basically negates that. Restoration Druid is kind of a bit of a soft counter to the Moonkin. We see a kidney shot. Tiber not in position to Cyclone out. He's just going to go for raw pressure, trying to kill in a kidney shot. Doesn't seem to be enough damage. They do get the Cyclone, but an Iron Bark should allow Cheerios to escape to safety. A Stormbolt on Tiber, trying to deny the pressure for the remainder of this incarnation. He's going to trade out Barkskin to recover from this Fell Barrage assault. The counter pressure is still mounting, though. Cheerios is still at half health. Lays has not recovered whatsoever, but the damage is now starting to sink sink in on both sides with Nick down to half and Tiber down to half. Warlock trying to negate with a healing tide. Nice solar beam interrupting the heal. Kidney shot on Cheerios. Piff leaps back in case he gets swapped too, but he left Cheerios behind. He's getting bursted down. Tons of damage. Cheerios moves in, lands a double. Triple fear on the trinkets. Great teamwork there from Piff and Cheerios, but the pressure is still on.
Yeah, this is the thing about the Resto Druid. You do not want to fall behind against the Resto Shaman. You see Warlock throwing out a lot of purges. Mana already down to around 60%. Lays trinkets out of the full blind. Still struggling to top off Cheerios. Warlock pushing in, still looking for the purges. Full kidney shot on Cheerios with the Hex on Lays. Cheerios, how are you going to survive this one? He's going to have to do a good job on that. Demon Hunter does a sap out of the Hex onto Lays. Cheerios still all by himself, but manages to survive. Must have had a whole bunch of hots there for Lays.
All right, Fell Barrage. Nick, the primary target here. Warlock trying to recover, positioning further away to avoid any interrupts or crowd control. Good positioning from Neat there. They've been in kind of a dominating position aggressively. Unfortunately for them, Restoration Druid teams are built to fatigue. They're just built to survive and outlast. So all plot twists really need to focus on is not dying, and ultimately Neat will fall behind. It's on them to kind of push down the gas pedal and get a kill. And a good crowd control chain here from Neat. Good pressure on Cheerios. Blur gets traded out to reduce the damage. Will this be enough to survive? Silence on Tiber denies the crowd control and the pressure. Cheerios is still low. They could potentially have to trade out Ironbark. It would be devastating to have to use that at the same setup as Blur, but he could just go down if they don't, and they have to. They force the hand of Lays to use both defensive cooldowns in one setup. The next one could be lethal.
Yeah, it is really important in this matchup that Piff is stopping these Cyclones on the Lays. Lays doing a good job of being in bear form, but the Cyclone's still coming in from Tiber, so Piff has to smarten up and stop that CC if he wants to allow his team to survive a little bit longer in this next setup. There's a bash into Cyclone over onto Nick. Cheer's just going to be kiting away. He knows they don't got Blur, they don't have Ironbark, they don't have anything. He wants to play a little bit defensive, but Tiber says no way. They make a big swap over onto, it looks like the Imprisonment actually is going to shut down that swap completely on the Lays, so very nicely done by Cheerios.
Yeah, great teamwork from Piff and Cheerios defensively to save Lays there on that swap. It was Incarnation. It could have just easily been his life. Tiber now getting counter pressure, tons of damage from Cheerios. Warlock trying to recover. Warlock's been doing a good job with his mana as well. He's actually beating Lays, which is a bit non-standard. The Restoration Druid falling behind, and if they can't keep the mana advantage, that's really all they're playing off of. If they lose that, they could ultimately lose in dampening as well. Tiber looking for some cheeky Cyclones, not able to find it as Displacer Beast allows Lays to escape back behind the pillar, but Nick is looking for a solo kill. Crowd controlling both members. How will they peel them away? A Hex out of the stun. Cheerios in trouble. Another stun. Darkness maybe. Metamorphosis over to Warlock. He's just going for a YOLO swap. No, immediately retreating back, but he's being greedy again. There's no Ironbark trade there. Really? There's no Ironbark trade. He manages to get away with it. Nick now getting swapped too. Tiber rotting down. Warlock now at a mana disadvantage. Double stun from Cheerios. Imprisoned on Warlock. Cheerios looking for an MVP play. Solar Beam denies the cloud. Tiber's in trouble. Bash still on Warlock. Lays looking for a Cyclone. Manages to sneak it in. Warlock pre-links the Cyclone. The pre-link doesn't even seem to be enough. The pressure is so high right now from Plot Twist.
Yeah, Tiber in a lot of trouble. Not able to get out those key Cyclones. Lays doing a good job there with the offensive Cyclone. Nick now getting swapped to. This is what Plot Twist wanted. They want to ride this momentum. If Warlock can't catch up, this is going to be a disaster here. Everyone from Plot Twist in a very safe position. No one's really taking too much damage. Nick's still getting rotted down. Tiber's still getting rotted down. But Warlock with the Ascendants able to top off his team. Now Lays getting swapped to. Nicely done by Nick. Darkness going to be traded out by Cheerios to keep his Resto Druid alive.
Yeah, his trinket though was used, and now Incarnation is rotating off, which means Cheerios, Piff, or Lays could die in the next stun lock. Nyx gets disarmed. Tiber's looking for a full moon, not able to find it. Lays and Cheerios are basically hiding for their lives right now. At any moment, they could just disappear from the arena. They're trying to punish Nick for overextending. Cheerios is trying to deny the drink. If Warlock gets mana, the purges will end the game. Lays gets swapped onto. Cheerios is too far away to deny the swap, and ultimately Lays will fall. Neat are coming back in this series. The comeback train 2-2 as we move into game 5.
And win with mana. And you can see, I mean, Warlock had, what, 20% of his mana bar remaining at this point. Easily here, you know you're on stun DR, so you can just kind of relax, sit in bear form. You have a lot of hots. And here, you know that Nick can get out of that. And nice solar beam actually from Tiber is going to interrupt that Cyclone cast. And then Nick is going to come out of that bash and just kidney him. And
Welcome back, everyone. The series has started. 2-2 tied up for Plot Twist and Need. This game's underway. Cheero's getting swapped to. Big swap onto him. Cheap Shots coming in. He trinkets out right away. Trying to keep himself alive. Metamorphosis over to Lays right away. Try to get some of those Resto Shaman heals connected.
Hey man, we're just coming off a break. I don't need a heart attack that quickly. Cheerios almost going down in the opener. 2 neat on match point as this Moonkin Rogue composition seems to be the answer to Plot Twist. Plot Twist going back to their original composition, which I think is the right move. That Restoration Druid setup was not winning on mana really. It was very close, and it was also not winning defensively. Now going back to mains, I think this is going to be a lot closer of a fight.
Yeah, Nick's going to have to do a really excellent job in this matchup. Nice gateway there by Cheerios. He actually gets Kidney Shot, and he pre-gated the Kidney Shot, so Nick not going to be able to really find any pressure off of that. And now Cheerios can look to get aggressive with no Kidney Shot threat. Double stun coming in onto Tiber and Nick. Nick getting lower. Has no Cloak of Shadows. He has the evasion. He has the vanish. So still some defensives to work with. He wants to keep himself alive.
Yeah, with Feint and Earth Shield, Nick is a very tanky target. And Cheerios is trying to swap off that Earth Shield, going after Tiber. Tiber ducks behind the pillar quickly. Lay's positioned very far away from him, though, and Aqua's in a position where he can Chaos Bolt anyone on the team. This could be dangerous as Nick sets up potentially a swap. He goes for the Kidney Shot. Doesn't look like they have anything followed up, though. Great defensive play. Double Mortal Coil breaks it up even further. Now Spell Lock onto Corlick as Tiber dips dangerously low. He retreats back to his healer, but now Nick is overextended. Corlick's trying to push forward to save him. Root Solar Beam attempt here to kill Cheerios with no trinket on either the healer or Cheerios, but defensive fears from Aqua seem to be good to keep Cheerios alive. Good teamwork from Plot Twist to survive that assault.
Yeah, Cheerios doing a good job with that Demon Hunter mobility to really create a lot of space, making it difficult for Nick. He manages to get away once again, gets topped off. Now Aqua, you can see, still just keeping basically a very defensive position, trying to keep Tiber and Nick at bay and punish them anytime they look to get aggressive. But now you can see Nick and Tiber putting a little pressure onto Aqua. That's going to tax Lays' mana a little bit. You can see Corlick and Lays basically tied on mana at this point in the game. Tiber now getting swapped to by Cheerios. Earthen Shield Totem is going to be dropped out there preemptively by Corlick. You can see Tiber looking for the follow-up CC onto that Kidney Shot. Full Hex secured by Lays. Heroes in so much trouble, and Neat manages to reverse sweep Plot Twist, knocking them out of the tournament. Neat doing an excellent job debuting in this top 8.
A mistake. This is the map that we should have seen, and I mean, even how they played this map necessarily isn't the best way to play it. I mean, you can see Lays and Cheerios are way too close. I mean, Nick doesn't even have to step there to get to Cheerios, so
I think
a little bit. I think the nerves might have gotten to them or something, because Cheerios could have easily pre-blurred there as well when he